All right, welcome to another episode of the Critical Introverts podcast. I'm your host, Senor Filth. I'm again joined today with Grace Khoranoff and Trevor Brown. Grace, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Grace. I'm just a Christian artist on Instagram. Little Artist in the Woods is username.
All right, and Trevor, you want to introduce yourself?
Well, NLZ, I don't know why I said that in French. I hate the French. My name is Trevor Brown. I'm the editor-in-chief of Acropolis News Network. You could go to acropolis.com in order to join the affiliate marketing campaign because I'm trying to expand my tiny little niche website of political and philosophy content into a fully fledged multi-empire. And you could be a part of that, and you could get a share of the profits too, 10% stake. So yeah.
All right, cool. So today we're going to kind of do something a little bit more contemporary, because usually the show is we kind of just pick a general topic and kind of go into it. But the VMAs passed, was it Sunday, I believe? And just seeing how completely irrelevant it's become, and it's supposed to be like a big night in music, in mainstream music, and to see it just become this who gives a fuck fest. I kind of wanted to talk about that and why that's happening. So, I mean, I guess, like, first of all, we have to talk about just the ratings it got. I think I saw in an article, I think through Breitbart, I think the ratings were about like 3.9 million or something like that. For an award show that I think was all over cable. It was kind of hard to avoid. So why the hell is this happening? Why the hell?
Is this the VMA or that fat Lizzo dressed up as trash?
Yeah.
For the event.
Yep, that's
I
the
too
one.
agree with Lizzo. I too think trash, and well, she decided to make that statement that she agrees with me publicly. I'm very appreciative of that, Lizzo.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard about award shows at all. So as far as I'm concerned, everyone is just coming to, like the country music awards and all that stuff. I hated like going to my own award ceremonies in school where I was the one receiving an award. Why would I want to watch someone else get an award? I think me getting one, I think that's...
Yeah, the format of award shows in general is just a boring one.
Yeah, they're not entertaining.
Like, I'm trying to think of the last time I was excited to watch an award show. I think it was probably like when the first Lord of the Rings movie came out, and I was hoping it would win Best Picture. Unfortunately, it didn't. I think it was beat by Chicago, a movie that no one cares about now. So that was like the beginning of me just saying, yeah, award shows are just boring and so irrelevant. And me being a music fan, it's interesting to see like the supposed big night in music just become something that gets beaten in ratings by like TikTok videos. It's fucking wild to see.
It's because those are designed to grab your attention.
Yeah.
Shows are not.
But
one is entertainment, sort of. The other one is celebrities patting each other on the back.
One is about 60 seconds long. The other is 3 hours.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I remember, I'm not sure if they still do this because I haven't seen the Grammys and fucking I can't even remember, but
I don't know.
they would just not televise a lot of the shit, and they would just like they would just announce the winners like a day after on the newspaper or something like that. Like, I think that's probably the best way to kind of do this. Like, they're trying to make award shows into like kind of like concerts or something, but it just doesn't work. And I think a lot of that is just the music. The quality of the music is just not there. Like, everything feels so like the music feels so secondary to everything else. Everything is just image now, and the performances is, oh, this person kissed this woman kissed another woman on stage. That's the news. It's not the music
I
itself.
wouldn't have a problem if they were good looking, but the problem
Yeah.
is they're all ugly, both morally and ethically.
Yeah, yeah, that's some shit.
I don't want to see a woman who calls herself trash with her own fashion statement. I don't want to see her. I didn't even watch.
I don't think
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even want to see her on screen ever. I didn't even know who Lizzo was until just now. I regret knowing that. That is a waste of brain cells. And I'm just...
Yeah, they're trying to like make her a sort of like the black hip-hop woman version of Jack Black in a way. Because
there are attractive that exist, and Lizzo is not one of them.
Yeah, she's not a looker.
I get to be harsh. That's the way it is.
Yeah, it's a bummer too, because like, you know, I do like bigger women, but every time you've seen some of the stuff I post. But yeah, like every time there's a show on, like, you know, I think didn't Lizzo have like a big girl competition show or something like that?
Yeah, it's just about girls dancing.
Yeah, and every single one of those girls were gross. Like they not one of them were genuinely pretty. A lot of it has to do with just the face. If the face is nice, and none of them were. I don't know what the fuck. It was a weird decision they made.
Well, that's because Lizzo is gross. You know, you can be a curvier woman and still be very beautiful, and Lizzo's like, I'm just gonna run right over that bridge and go straight to planetary gross and build herself a little orbit.
Yes.
Community right there, not calling her a planetarium. You're the big, no pun intended.
Yeah, but also, you know, I've sort of been separating myself from like mainstream anything, and it started with music. Like I started just listening to kind of, I guess, music that wasn't on the radio very early on, and like it's a bummer to see like how hip hop is sort of changed. Hip hop in the earlier days, I would say the golden age of like the 90s, it was simple. It was very like sample based, but there was a genuine like fun and a spirit to it, and people were just trying to make good music. There wasn't this image like piled onto it. And now when I see just music in general, it's almost like the image matters more, and the music is just a kind of like a secondary thing. Like, isn't Harry Styles a musician? I'm not sure. I just know him as the guy with the skirt. Yeah, I just know him as the.
I know him as.
Yeah, I just know him as.
Now, don't people like to say that he's not gay or something? I think, but he totally is. It's weird.
Yeah. Yes.
He's gay.
He's obviously gay.
Yeah, I just know him as.
They have to like kind of let people think that he's not, so that they can keep 13-year-old girls drooling over him. So.
Yeah.
13-year-old girls will drool over like a concrete statue or something. They drool over everything. They're children.
Yeah,
I know. That's why I think it's funny. They're always like, "Oh, we have to kind of pretend like he's not gay so we can keep girls interested." I don't think they understand that teenage girls are so degenerate now that gay is almost more attractive to them.
Yeah,
that's what we become as a society.
Yeah, it's like
well, those gay men are probably more masculine than apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I kind of grew up. I was, I think, in middle school when like the boy bands thing kind of came out, and it's just funny to see like those were considered hot guys, but they were really femme looking, but they were still dudes, and just to see it decline, and like now a guy that's wears a dress is, you know, considered a sex symbol.
Mhm.
It's like, as a girl, like, is that really what you think is hot? Is a dude dressed in a dress?
No, super gross. Honestly, when I was in like high school, I was more into that alternative stuff.
Mm.
Just the rock bands that I followed. That's how they dressed. And I was super in love with this one lead singer. But then I became a Christian and grew up a little bit. I realized, yeah, no, that's super stupid, and they're degenerate and probably need a little bit of mental help,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not hot. Like,
Yeah.
man stuff, actually being a man is hot, but LARPing as some sort of androgynous woman creature is not.
Yeah, I remember there was, fuck, what was it called? There was a term back in like the early 2000s of like when a guy is super cleaned up and he wears cologne. Fuck, what was it called? Ah, shit. It was like,
Metrosexual?
yeah, metrosexual. And I understood like the complaint, but that was sort of like the bottom, like the borderline. That was fine for me. Like, okay, if the guy's just wears cologne, he's clean, that's fine. But now it's just like I see guys with like fucking blue and green hair, and they have fucking man buns.
Oh my gosh, my mom she went to Vegas for a Killers concert,
Mm-hmm.
and when she was in the airport, she saw one of the stewardesses was a dude, a full-on dude,
Mm-hmm.
with a beard and short dude haircut, wearing the female flight attendant uniform, just walking through at work,
Yeah.
short little skirt and blouse and makeup, but beard and obviously a dude and heels, and they're just letting him go to work like that.
Her beard, bigot. Her Adam's apple.
Yeah,
Her
it was
clutch
like
bulge.
obviously a dude.
Yeah. But is that supposed to be a like a gay thing, or is that just like I'm a dude and I can wear what I want kind of thing? I'm kind of confused. Or is it just supposed to be confusing and annoying like the?
I think it's a few different things. You're never gonna have, oh yeah, I'm just a dude and I like dresses, because dudes don't like wearing dresses.
Mm-hmm.
What it is it's gonna be either I'm gay, I want attention, or I'm a pervert and I want to rub it in your face, or some combination of those three. It's never gonna be just a dude who's doing what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Being said, the Scottish and the Irish wear dresses too, and I think they should stop. Or if it is, they're all gay, and I will be happy to invite all of the redhead and blonde Irish to my house, and end that problem in the catch my drift. I will sacrifice. You know, I will endure for the good of people.
But I mean, Grace, you're relatively young. Like your, I guess, generation, or whatever you call it. Like, do they like music that much nowadays? Like, is it like compared to like your parents? Like, do like your parents like do people your age like music as much as like your parents?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think music culture is ever going to go away. Most of my friends who I am still sort of friends with from like middle school and stuff are super into it. All they post on their Instagram stories is just random photos of K-pop dudes, because who wants to see that?
Yeah.
And then they go to concerts constantly and all that stuff. So yeah, most of the people my age I know are super obsessed with music, not the ones who I've since met through online and political events who have actual stuff to care about and be doing. But yeah, most people my age do give a damn about music, but not in any way that matters. It's more of just this is flashy and fun, and there's not like they care about the artistic value.
Yeah, it feels more like the trend of now, and then I'll just move on to something in a year or so.
Yeah, it's superficial.
Yeah, like even with my my two nieces, like they mostly like, if they do like music, it's older music. It's like 80s stuff. One loves what's her name? Stevie Nicks. One loves Stevie Nicks a lot. But anything like relatively new, they kind of they like it in a ringtone kind of fashion, but they don't give two shits about it. Like, they don't care to buy it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
Well, I wouldn't buy music at all because if it's not if it's not too expensive to stream, then I won't pirate it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at for me. But I think everything that you and Grace are talking about is essentially nothing in the West that is produced by, I guess, mainstream art culture
Mm-hmm.
is authentic. And when I say authentic, like I don't mean that they're not
That doesn't exist. Yeah.
that they're not like actual there's no actual human spirit in anything being made. Every
Yeah.
produced in a lab. It is a formula. I forget who the same two dudes that have written every single top charting song for stream artists for the past like 20 years or something ridiculous. Then you have the fact that all the songs use the same chord structure, and not only do they use the same, they use the same chord structure with the same chord.
Yeah.
Minor, F, C, G major, and sometimes instead of the F, E minor chord. Oh, that's that's super scary,
Yeah.
stuff right there with that E minor. Oh my gosh, this is some riveting instrumentation here. Oh, you got that beat, that broken sprinkler that's in every single song. You got the oh wow, riveting, bravo. You know.
Yeah, it's that is a good point. And it's
in a lap.
The spirit thing is a big factor to this because like, I don't know if you guys know much about Motown records, but Motown, like, they would literally use like the same musicians for a lot of the music. That's why so much of it kind of sounds alike. But there is still like that spirit there, and you can still really enjoy the music. And now, I mean, I don't want to sound like a fucking grumpy old man, but yeah, and I try to give stuff a listen, and it seems like there's not that much passion involved. There's not that much maybe risk taking. I don't know. There's something's missing, and
yeah. So it's the thing that this is gonna sound pretentious as hell. It's missing the makes it human.
It's the West.
Have you seen the new Matrix movie?
Wait, say it again. It's missing the what?
It's missing the thing that something that a human being makes.
Mm-hmm.
Because have you seen the new Matrix movie?
I don't watch movies made by trannies.
Okay, fair.
I haven't.
Fair enough. But with the new the guys from Lotus Eaters, a shout out to them. They pointed. I didn't notice. I didn't actually watch. And it's probably because I didn't watch the movie until after it out to me, and then I ended up agreeing. But essentially, the first half of the movie, like first third of the movie, is basically just the creators of the Matrix just ham-fisting their own situation into the, and it was really it makes a lot of sense too, because what they were essentially saying was all of these city dwelling holly types who all live in the bubble, whose only other experience is talking to their therapist, going experience of the outside world is the view from their window, their phone, and going to the gym for an hour a day. And so it's essentially one scene where all of these artists are down at the table, and they're trying to with Keanu Reeves or whatever. Keanu Reeves in this beginning of the movie, it just sort of represents
The creator
of the Matrix movies,
hmm
and so right in front of in the story, the creator of the Matrix films, everyone else is just sort of ignoring and going, and they're just rationalizing
hmm
the essence of what makes the Matrix, and then trying to synthesize that into it. You can clearly see
hmm
it's their experience trying to make this, and it just seems like they do this with everything. Oh,
Yeah.
what is the essence of what is the essence of the Lord of the Rings? Well, the essence of the is elves, so we can make the elves whatever we want,
Yeah.
despite elves have been described
Yeah.
in the Lord of the Rings. Oh, um we can make anything into be whatever we want, so long as we
hmm
get we think is the material essence of the thing.
hmm
These are not movie TV shows. These are not songs. These are formulas. You could call it that.
hmm
You could call them, like, a human being doesn't need to enter the picture anymore.
Yeah.
There's these robots, these robot AIs that like draw things for people.
Yeah, I
These
saw
things,
that. Didn't one
yeah,
like
this
win
is
a
better.
state
It's better
fair
art. It's
competition?
better art than these
Yeah.
Hollywood types will ever be able to make.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying though. It's all just vague aesthetics and not any actual
Yeah.
art with clear definition and meaning. It's just, oh, if this looks this general way, people will throw money at it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Every movie I've ever has been like that, and the old movies from that even I like. Oh, they're no different. Harry Potter is just a retelling of the King Arthur myth, and basically, oh,
hmm
I'm a peasant, but I'm a peasant with magical lineage, and because of that magical lineage, I'm a good person, and I'll do good person thing.
Yeah.
Star Wars, like the creator of Star Wars, George Lucas, is like, I didn't make something new, recreated the Greek myths.
Yeah.
So even the things is just a retelling, a formula of what's already been made, and then we wonder why anime is so popular. You know,
Yeah, but
first off,
like,
there are some pretty good animes out there. You know,
uh-huh.
the Code Geass, Death on Titan. I
I
I like
know.
all the ones with anti-heroes. That's about me. Shut up. You
I
know.
I know
But
nothing of anime, so I mean, I'm sorry
eh,
about that. But I
if you're looking for authenticity, you'd like it. The Japanese know.
yeah, I hear
You
it's
know?
some crazy shit, but I just it's hard for me to like get into something new. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Um, but there is something about like a Star Wars movie that is, you know, the original Star Wars isn't necessarily the most original thing because it's taken from so many elements, like you know, even like the Jesus archetype is in there, cowboy movies, the Buck Rogers kind of shit. But at least there does, I think you have to generally have a geeky, nerdy love for what you're doing, and that'll show. And I'm not, I think culturally that's kind of, I think that's really missing. I think the nerdiness of what you're creating is kind of, it's not there anymore. Um, yeah, like you said, you brought up the Lord of the Rings. What's the new show called? Rings of Power or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I have packages from my grandma
uh,
arrived at the door, and the Amazon tape said Ring Power on it. Like, they're really advertising for this,
yeah, yeah,
and it's not working.
yeah.
It's not. I got an email from them.
hmm
I've never even opened Prime viewing on my profile or whatever,
Yeah,
you know? And it's just, the email said, be sure to watch Rings of Power, the new
hmm
thing, whatever. I didn't even open the email. I didn't even want to be bothered
yeah,
to read it, you know. We're trying.
Yeah, like I remember watching the first trailer, and I just had a gut instinct that it was made by people that just didn't like the property. Like there was something genuinely missing. Like I remember watching like the making of the Lord of the Rings movies, like the original trilogy, and watching just interviews with Peter Jackson. Like he was genuinely a geek about Lord of the Rings lore, and that's the type of person you want making you know, an intellectual property that has a huge fan base, like genuine geeks. And
it's worse. It's worse than that. I haven't covered this on the Trevor Report because I don't care. But there's, and I have more important things to cover than that. But basically, is the people who are at the helm of the Rings of. I'm not even gonna bother calling it Lord of the Rings of Power. As far as I'm concerned, there's Lord of the Rings and there's the Rings of Power. These are two different things.
Yeah.
But the people at the helm of the Rings of Power, actual black nationalists,
really,
would yeah, really scary too. Because if you think about it, Tolkien was an Anglo-Saxon scholar, and he wrote the Lord of the Rings because his intent to give the English an original, authentic story, tells the merits of England. Like the Shire represents like a pre-industrial England.
Yeah.
The Eye of Sauron represents the people at the helm.
Yeah.
You know, and there's all these things. If you take, just imagine done the other way around. You know, let's take Black Panther, make all the characters, and then no, make all the characters. Let's make a white demographic that I hate. Let's make them French, and I don't actually hate the French. I'm just being.
I gotcha.
Facetious. Also, I hate but but you make them French. You make and then to be as on the nose as possible, you make the villains of the story have black skin, and then you make that at every attempt possible to debauch the source material.
Yeah.
And then for your deliberate act of race, you accuse the people accusing you of being racist of racism.
Yeah.
And you still manage to succeed. That's what it is. It's like
That is what it is.
It's like Rick and Morty. You son of a, you know, it's literally it. It just keeps happening. You know.
Well, I think another part of it is definitely the Christian element too, because J.R.R. Tolkien is just like C.S. Lewis, where he's super inspired by biblical stuff, and that's just infused into his work. And these people in Hollywood hate that, viscerally hate Christianity. So they have to take this popular thing and rewrite it to fit their religion of wokeism and make it about diversity instead of what it's actually about, and just change it and say, we don't like that this has some connections to this religion that we don't like, so we're just going to rewrite it so that it's about what we want you to believe. And
they would never be innocent enough to do the thing.
They like to pretend like they are, though. That's the
but
they like to put up.
It's probably more like they rip off they rip off and split it in two with their bare hands and then shake it towards like a pagan tree or something.
Yeah,
seems more likely.
Yeah. Do you guys hear that or no?
Yeah.
That
like
alarm?
A plane or something.
It sounds like an ice cream.
Yeah. Let me close my window. Okay. All right.
That dissonance with the 3 second. That was an awful experience. My God.
All right. So I do think part of the problem too. I think, uh, again, I don't want to sound like an angry old man, but I do think social media is kind of at fault with this. Like everything is so sped up, and when things are so sped up, people don't have the time to sort of focus in and appreciate something for kind of what it is. Like I remember, I'm a big Simpsons fan. You know what I mean? Like the classic Simpsons, and any classic Simpsons fan hates Simpsons like after 2004 because it's just been awful since then. And I remember like 2-3 years ago, I just decided to just watch a couple episodes of the new episodes, and I noticed immediately that like the pacing of the jokes were so fast. Like like a classic Simpsons, they would like, you know, just go into like one little joke and give it time, even if it had nothing to do with the main story. It was just a like this drawn out joke that just made you like you just enjoyed the silliness, and it gave that joke like a good minute or two, and they would just move
You can
on.
have time to laugh without missing the next 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like a newer episode, like the setup was that like I think Mo wrote some children's book, Mo the bartender, and as a premise that's kind of funny, but they don't really do much with it. Like they just have him like show some books, like the titles of his books, and then they just move on. And I was just watching like, damn, like classic Simpsons, they would have like, you know, ran that bit for like a good minute or two. You know what I mean? Like
They would have done something, the bartender being a pedophile or
something like that.
Something funny.
Yeah, like,
you know?
the idea of Mo, this creepy bartender guy writing children's books, like you can have so much fun with that, but they literally just show a couple of titles from like a book or two he wrote, and then they just move on to something. And like I just picture like the mentality of like people when they're on their phones, or they're just so moving on to the next thing, scrolling and scrolling, you know, and
Yeah.
it
Well, you're
makes
absolutely right, because what it's done is it's shortened people's attention span, and it's just about faster media, and it makes things have to go quicker, and it set the precedent that media doesn't need to be good as long as you can get a lot of it in one sitting, because people want variety before they want quality. They just want it to be constantly changing, and they'll be happy.
Yeah. But also
the Star Wars Episode 9 really suffered from this.
Was that the one with Palpatine coming back?
With the terrible plot that's even worse than the previously terrible plot, yes.
Yeah.
That
I
one
didn't
was
really think that one. That was just dumb.
That movie was 3 hours. It didn't stop.
Yeah, it felt
starting.
Yeah.
You know?
It felt like they crammed in
a chase scene and an end with explosions and a chase scene. It was all in chase scenes all the way through.
Yeah.
It's just, you know.
Yeah, I remember watching that movie, and I think they go to like a couple of planets in that movie, and I was just thinking like the original Star Wars, like they would have like taken their time into one planet and then moved on, but this one felt so just we have to go to the next thing. And
isn't light speed skipping just the best and doesn't
that was
break
great
in any way whatsoever?
Yeah.
Isn't hyperspace tracking best and most amazing addition ever, and an absolutely no.
Yeah.
Isn't lightsabers not cutting anyone's limbs off just the best ever, and in any way, and doesn't in any way harm the story at all? Isn't Rey billion boulders just the best thing, and in no way breaks the story at all? And isn't Luke being a piece of shit bum just the best thing ever, and in no way?
Yeah, because what makes Star Wars is lightsabers and lasers. That's everything else is boring.
And heart.
Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah. But with the social media thing, everything's like so kind of quick. It's sort of turned music into this thing of like you just have to make hits. Like I buy actual I like buying albums because you can like listen through them, and not every song is trying to be a hit. There's some songs that are slower paced. There's some songs are just instrumentals, something like that. Now it just feels like everything is, if it's not a hit, it gets people's attention, it's not worth paying attention to. And
Yeah, and that's actually, if you scroll through the reels on Instagram enough, they get their little trending audios.
yeah,
And I kind of think that music's just going for that one soundbite now that circulates, because then they know people will listen to it. Because I found songs there that, oh, that sounds pretty fun. I'm gonna go check out the full song, and the full song sucks. It's just that one little soundbite that's good and fun to listen to, and the rest of it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not even gonna finish this halfway through. This is dumb, and go do something else.
There's this one because all over my feed is nothing but anime reels and Giga Gym reels. That's the only thing that's in my feed now, and I'm very thankful. I created this feed by doing absolutely nothing, so I'm very creeped out. But so the Giga Chad reels comes up, and there's this one song. It's I feel nothing in a falsetto. I can't sing falsetto because my balls dropped. So wow, it's a really good bit. And so I listened to the full song. There are parts in the song that deserve to be a reel. If it's going for of the song, but like the part of the reel that trends is the first chorus, and the first chorus sucks compared to because the second chorus is obviously going to be better than the first one, and it's just I just don't understand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and it's I don't know.
Yeah, that's something for me because I love just listening to whole albums, and one kind of thing I how I measure a good album to a album that kind of sucks is whether or not like my favorite song in that album can't be one of their hits. You know what I mean? It can't be a hit signal.
Okay.
It has to be like a one-off song that's only in the album. Yeah, like I can't imagine like listening to an entire Lizzo album. I mean, maybe.
Oh my God, she has albums.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she has some good stuff, but there's just.
You ever watch one of her music videos? They're so bad. They're genuinely awful.
I mean, we could
to a comical degree.
Yeah, is it like her twerking?
There is a very tame compliment. You're once again being the bigger person.
Well, the one that I watched was just funny because there were parts of it that just looked so edited that I was like, are they CGIing her in entirely right now? It puts you under the impression that she might actually be too big to do her own dances, and they have to put that in with the computer. That's what it looks like.
She's too fat to dance. Okay? She's what? 100 pounds? That's too big. That's too much mass.
Yeah.
I guess speaking of Lizzo,
if you can't curl it, you can't dance it.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
No, if anyone's oppressing Lizzo, it's herself.
Yeah.
She's keeping herself down with all that extra weight.
Let's speaking of Lizzo, let's watch her speech from the VMAs.
Is this the one where she says that she's or whatever?
She's like the second coming of Harriet Tubman or something. Yeah.
What?
And the whole tub.
Yeah.
I'll stop.
Right.
I'll stop.
Let's play this. So I think this is another aspect of why award shows are just dying because of shit like this. And let's just watch.
I don't know.
Can you guys hear that? Yeah? Okay.
What music video for good means, but I do know what your vote means.
Wait, what? Did she say? What was she saying?
I don't know what this award means, but I do know what your vote means.
Okay.
I don't know what music video for good means, but I do know what your vote means, and that's a lot. Your
I do have to say too, like, she kind of, there's a term I use called a flatso, and it's a flat-chested big girl, and that's usually just the worst combination.
Yeah, I noticed that. When this outfit particularly, you can just tell you're like, that's not a good pair of tits right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Boobs on a fat girl is like abs on a skinny guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Real. Like there's no hard work or dedication
Yeah.
into that physique. It's just the circumstance, you know.
Yeah. But she's one of
Said
those.
I have a 2-pack because I've been skinny my entire life, you know.
Yeah, but she's one of those fat girls that doesn't have any tits, and it's just the weirdest look. Anyway.
I can't even
makes her
tell where
look
her
just
tits are.
off
She's
balance.
too circular,
Yeah.
you know. I'm supposed to find more circles with that, and we're seeing this inside this massive circle. I'll stop.
All right, let's
Your
watch.
video's gonna get banned. Like you're gonna get a
Yeah, we've
strike.
had too much fun at Lizzo so far. This is
All right, let's get
not
into
going to be
it.
allowed on YouTube.
All right.
what music video for good means, but I do know what your vote means, and that's a lot. Your vote means everything to me. It means everything to making a change in this country.
How far are we from like midterms?
A couple months.
Couple months? You don't
Like
think
the
that?
primary season is basically over
Yeah.
for the most part.
Hmm.
The primary season was going on when she said this, I think. Was
Yeah.
that say the 26th? It's a little blurry.
Yeah.
I'd say 28th.
Yeah. The timing of this is just great, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah,
So
right
remember
around the
when
end
you're
of the
voting for your
midterms.
Yeah, right. This is a coincidence, you know.
country. So remember when you're voting for your favorite artist, vote to change some of these laws that are oppressing us. I don't know.
Now,
Women do not have the right to murder babies. Now hold on.
Yeah.
Men don't have the right to murder babies. Black people don't have the right to murder babies. White people don't have the right to murder babies.
Yeah.
The French, they don't have a right to murder babies either. You know, it's just so.
Let's just go with murder is always wrong, no matter how old the
Yeah.
victim is.
Wow, it's very oh man, it's fascism's
Yeah.
right there. You know,
I'm so
Just don't kill people.
yeah.
Easy. It's not that hard to do.
I'm so
no,
bored.
but like they're oppressing us now.
I'm
What this
s-
is right there is she's playing on the thick concept. I'm gonna dive into the critical race theory stuff that I
Go
read
for
because
it.
by God, I dedicated too much time to it. And if I don't bring it up at every possible opportunity, then it is a waste of my time, which is a waste of my money.
Okay.
So anyway, what she's doing right there, being a powerful, rich a celebrity, quite possibly one of the biggest people there. You know, she what that is it's a coalition of the margins to attack the center, as outlined in Kimberly Crenshaw's Mapping the Margins. Now, the title is like 7 words, but I don't know. I haven't memorized the rest of the title of her essay. Forgive me. But anyway, but in Mapping the Margins by Kimberly Crenshaw, the word center is very clearly and obviously a euphemism for white people because critical race theorists are evil. So when she says the word oppressive right there, what she's essentially relying on is a decades-long dog whistle made by essentially like aristocrats of the highest order,
Right.
who ended up creating their own branch of Marxist philosophy, essentially, or I guess socialist philosophy. The critical race theorists are much like the fascists and the National Socialists, where they're socialists but they're post-Marx,
Right.
you know. And so essentially, her, and along with her critical theorist colleagues like Herbert Marcuse, they've essentially harmonized into this position of, see, there are all these normal people out there who just do their normal people things. They're not going to achieve communism. There are all these normal people. There are all these Republicans who believe in equal rights under the law. Those disgusting right wingers, and they believe in freedom of speech and treating your political opponents as your equals. These people are not gonna they're not gonna bring about communism.
Mm-hmm.
So and this is where the critical theorists and the critical race theorists split.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, Derek Bell went, "Oh my God, Brown versus Board of Education is happening, and that the schools are desegregated, and my children aren't going to be authentically black." Also, they're only desegregating the schools because they're trying to bring an end to communism in the United States, and no other reason whatsoever. Trust me, bro, I got the documents, and I'm not kidding. Those are his essays.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how they read. And Herbert Marcuse was like, okay, so we can be tolerant because tolerance is good. Tolerance as an end is great. Be tolerant of everything, except those right wingers, because those right wingers aren't going to bring about communism.
Mm.
That's why we should be repressively tolerant to them, or whatever.
Is that the?
That's what,
Does
yeah,
that?
and that's what. And
Does this
go
come
ahead.
from? Does this come from the that essay, the repressive tolerance essay?
Yeah, well, the actual essay is a critique of pure tolerance. That's the one.
Right.
Well, the essay is called Repressive Tolerance, but the part that I've read is called A Critique of Pure Tolerance.
Okay.
And in his critique, he's essentially like, okay, you can't be like, this is literally a child's rationalization. Well, I can't be tolerant of the people who are intolerant. So maybe if I'm intolerant towards the people who are intolerant, then I can make the world more tolerant. Basically.
That makes sense.
And if that doesn't make sense, it's because it doesn't make sense. Remember, these people are socialists.
Yeah.
And then so back to Kimberly Crenshaw. So then there's my children authentically because the schools are desegregating. What he means by authentically black is very spicy, and you like to put your videos on YouTube, so I'm not going to say it. Also disgusting. But the Klan might they do agree.
They might hit the like button.
Yeah, pretty much. And so so a few decades later, a bunch of other critical race theorists are grandfathered in, and you got mapping the margins. And what mapping the margins is basically Kimberly Crenshaw's like, okay, so there's those evil, disgusting demons in the center called straight white men, and then there's the margins. The margins is women, black people, the disabled, trans people, lesbians, or whatever. I personally call them aristocrats, but that's just because I live in reality. And essentially, she's like, okay, and the more of these on the margins identities you have, the more of oppressed experiences you may have. So
Intersectionality.
Yes, yeah. She's the piece of human filth who coined intersectionality.
Ew, really?
Very good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kimberly Crenshaw is a very you just call it American fascism, basically.
Yeah.
But so then that's what Lizzo's relying on. Is she's relying on, well, I'm obese, so that makes me oppressed, even though there's no such thing as oppressed and obese. That's not a thing unless you're chained to the wall with a tube of lard going down your nose and throat.
Yeah.
Like there's no like that's
the choice that you're making.
That doesn't happen. Eat a salad, go for a walk.
Yeah.
She's also like, oh, but she's black. No, she's a woman. She's oppressed in the patriarchy or whatever. Well, even in a patriarchal system, women are effectively aristocrats. Like they get to have
Uh-oh.
Directed towards them, and all they have to do is maintain a clean home.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a noble family is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Like I don't understand. So she's relying on really thick concepts. So when she says oppressed, that what she's relying on,
Uh-oh. Get cut off?
she doesn't. Well, she's just what?
Oh, I thought you got a little cut off in there.
Oh, so know that she's relying on this multi-decade, like 60, 70-year dog whistle of people being of aristocratic, this narrative of American fascism, essentially. And she's just participating in it because she's probably been a beneficiary of this dog whistle her entire life. So
You're kind of cutting off a lot right now.
Yeah.
Let's see.
oh, sorry. Did my sentences come out clear? Or?
I think we got
No,
the gist.
they got a little. I mean, we got the point, but they're a little
Okay.
choppy.
All right.
It's weird for someone who's fat to say they're oppressed because, I mean, no, you can't be fat and oppressed. Like,
It's definitionally
it's you're gluttonous. You're technically the opposite of
Excess does not come with oppression.
yeah.
well, immediately you could be chained to the wall and have
Yeah, you could be. I think it.
going down your nose, mouth, and ears. Lizzo's situation.
Yeah.
I can't come out right now. Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, not only is she fat, so that's not a sign of oppression, but she makes relatively, at best, maybe mediocre music, and she's probably not going to have to work for the rest of her life because of making this forgetful music. Like, that really goes outside of the spectrum of oppressed to me. Maybe alone.
If anything's privilege, it's that.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Being
because
able to live for your entire
we live
life
in
off of
reality.
subpar work.
Yeah, but like this shit, this politicization in award shows also adds to why they're becoming so irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I think that is because what are the award show at their core? They're not for the audience. They're for the celebrities, for the people who made the movies.
yeah.
To go pat each other on the back and do flattery and blow wind up each other's skirts. And so it's not an entertainment thing. It's a pride thing. It's an ego thing for them. And all this woke social justice warrior victim narrative stuff, it just gives them more to play with. If they can be the most virtue signaling or the most oppressed, that just gives them more buddy points within their little clique. And that's all this is. It's just the new wave of, instead of flattery, it's, oh, how can I seem the most pure of heart by oppression or by trying to help other people, but it's all just a giant farce. That's all it is.
Yeah. It's really annoying. And it's something to point out that like they are completely losing money out of this, but I don't think they care. Which is the weirdest thing to me.
It's because, and it's the same thing with CNN, the rest of the corporate press, and it's the same thing with if you've seen Twitter guidelines or whatever.
Can you repeat that again? You got cut off again.
I could just sum it up as my betters, and essentially my betters view of themselves, where because they're my betters, they get to do whatever they want to me. They
correct.
I mean, in the case of Silicon Valley, they can debauch the sort of spiritual experience of engaging with a story. In the case of the Hollywood types, they can debauch the music that I engage to, and the reason they think they could get away with this is in part because they can. For now, I have plans to change that. Acropolisnews.gofpro.com, but then essentially they have a monopoly on not just information, but on the, I guess, the being an aristocracy, because there was a point where people did. There was a point where people trusted Hollywood to of creating engaging narratives for future generations to instill moral lessons. There was a time where people trusted the records and of that sort to help distill authentic music to the masses. They don't do this anymore. And it's the same thing with Twitter, with new Twitter service. Twitter views themselves as the space Hollywood types, the neocon neo-lib uniparty, the corporate press, every single one of what you would call my betters, and how they get to view the world. And so you just have this massive sludge of not, and it manifests itself everywhere. It manifests itself in Biden's speech, okay, where he's like, I'm sure you can find more tame speeches from Hitler.
Yeah.
There's probably less divisive speeches from Hitler. I don't know of any less divisive because, to be fair, I'm being facetious, but you could probably find now it's everywhere. It's that synthesization of everything. It's the inauthenticity of everything.
Yeah.
It's the corporatization of everything, and it's the American fascism of everything.
Yeah.
And that's why people aren't tuning out, because
Well, I
turns
think
out there's more
that's-
Yankees in American culture than American culture seems to talk about.
Go ahead, Grace.
Yeah, well, there definitely seems to be a link to that, and the way award shows look as far as politics goes, and where media is at. Art, movie, film, music, just all media has become so bad that this elite ruling class probably knows now that they have nothing of value to offer. So these overly political award shows are just their way of trying to maintain the illusion that they're better than you and that they deserve to be better than you.
Yeah, I do think that's a lot of it. I do think that they know that they're sort of losing their grasp on regular people. So I think this is just maybe just like some weird power grab. But
it's gotten to a point where my new approach is, when someone says you're a fascist, I ask them if fascism is right wing, and if they say yes, I stop talking to them. I walk away. I'm not gonna bother anymore. You know, if the human race is nothing but sheep, I'll make the sacrifice. I'll be a lion. You know, I'll make the sacrifice for everyone. So be it. You know.
all right, I guess let's move on to, I guess, the flip side of this, and that is just taking back the culture through art, through music, film. Let's give it some moment to just congratulate Tim Pool with his recent success. Not even just because of the song, but his show has gotten really popular, and
Oh yeah.
I think I've said this before, but like whatever next presidential candidate that like wants to go against the establishment, they're gonna have to embrace alternative media. They're gonna have to maybe go on Tim Pool's show, because they're not.
That'd be super cool, actually.
Yeah, that would be really awesome to see them. Just to see someone who became president on an independent show like that. That would really just like flip everything on its head.
So you're saying Donald Trump should go on Tim Pool's show, is what you're saying?
That would be so funny.
I can't come out right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that would be such a good episode. I mean, I'm not even really sure if I've even really seen any like long format things with Trump, but I can't imagine
He
it.
appeared on one podcast and it got scrubbed from
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, I remember
It got
that.
scrubbed from the Internet Archives, which I didn't think was possible.
Was
but
it the Drinking Bros podcast?
I don't know the name. I just knew he was on it, and then when I
Okay.
tried to find it, wasn't there.
Yeah,
It's probably on Rumble somewhere. I'll check it out
Yeah.
sometime. But
that's gonna be some shit to see. Yeah, like to see a presidential candidate on a show like Tim Pool. That'd be so awesome.
well, when Bernie Sanders was running for president, props to him. It was the one time I'll give props to a socialist. He went on Joe Rogan's thing.
Yeah, I mean Joe Rogan's. I mean he's slightly mainstream, but he does.
He wasn't slightly mainstream at the time, though. Is the thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that's gonna be really.
Don't get me
interesting.
wrong. He was super popular back then.
Mm-hmm.
But not to the extent he is now, where he can literally. All he has to do, he doesn't even have to. If Joe Rogan wanted to, he could buy like $1 million worth of a penny stock, and then he could say this stock is going to go up, and then because he said it, it'll go up, so it doesn't count as financial misinformation, and then he could sell it.
Yeah,
and like everyone would profit, and it would have a great time because of it.
Do you guys know the name of Tim Pool's single? I totally forgot what it's called.
Only Ever Wanted.
Oh, yeah. So I think as far as taking back the culture, I think this is what you kind of have to do. I'm not so sure that like just political talk radio is the way you only doing that is really going to do much. Because it's realistically kind of boring for the regular person. And so you have to create some kind of content that is not political, but Tim Pool.
Ultimately, there's no point in complaining that the culture that there is and bashing on media if you're not willing to step up and put forth a new culture and make new media.
Yeah.
If you're not going to replace it with something, you shouldn't complain.
Yeah.
With that being said, I plan in 10 years' time to replace Sony Records, replace the corporate press, replace Disney. It did full like I'm not kidding. I'm not bullshitting it. I'm not bullshitting anyone. This is my plan. I've literally taken the Eisen path, if you were of I guess self serve the Soul King. Okay, when the Soul King is this, I deserve this. No, but in all seriousness, like this is the arc I'm going on. I'm writing a few stories. I think, Mr. Filth, I think I might have told you about this kind of before, where I plan to make a few animes. I'm not going to give
you haven't told me yet, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you later, and if you want to hear about it too, Grace, you're an artist. So I need artists for this because I can't draw.
I can draw, and I used to want to do manga, so I can draw anime.
All right, perfect. I'll definitely hit you up later.
Yeah.
But but like I'm writing story arcs for plots. I'm not gonna say it on your thing because I do want to kind of hide my power level just a little bit. These are a lot of anime references that I'm making, and I don't care.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it's just getting to a point where I feel insulted that I have to turn to other countries in order to experience something that every nation should provide, and the fact that my nation isn't providing it in any form is why animes become so popular.
Yeah.
And I don't even plan to like replace these Japanese studios or whatever. I like the work that they do. I think the anime titties are a bit gross, a bit weird. The age
It's
of consent
in
my country is definitely different from the age of consent in Japan, and that's also very gross. So I'm not gonna do that. Japan can have the anime titty market. I'm not that in. I think they could have this. I'm focusing much more on the story market and things like that. Planning on getting into music as well. I've hit up a bunch of musicians, and I basically told them, write this with this chord progression in mind, and a few because it's a unique chord progression. I sort of took the Royal Road progression that's common in Japan, and I took the main pop one, and as Hegel put it, I made the synthesis, as it were. I took the sucky music and the good music, and I synthesized it into good music.
Yeah.
Basically, but that's where I'm at. So just replace them. They don't deserve this. They don't deserve the empire they've inherited. Let it burn. Let it die. Don't set fire to it. They'll set fire to it themselves. You don't have to do anything about it. No terrorism.
Yeah, I think if you just ignore them, I think they'll
Yeah.
kind of go away and just die off. And I mean,
I'm
they'll.
still referring to Hollywood in the past tense. I'm not kidding. This has to be done.
How would that look like, though? Like, let's say if what is anti-establishment becomes mainstream, like what, like socially, how do things change? Like let's say Alex Jones became president. You know what I mean? Like,
well, according to Sam
That
Harris,
would be really unhinged.
that's like having Trump as president. Which,
right?
shut up, Sam. You know.
Yeah, like that's one of the things I kind of think about. Like, what happens when
it just means that you the things you put forward had merit, and that's why they succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
What's anti-establishment now is basically just a 90s culture.
Yeah.
So it's the same. Nothing's changed. Whig historiography is a lie. Okay, progress is not the be all end all.
Yeah.
You know, like, nothing's changed. It's the same racist establishment. It's the same bourgeois culture. They've just stopped pretending to like the troops. That's it.
Yeah.
It's the same people doing the same things for the same reasons that they've been doing for 70, 80, 90 years now. They're the same. Nothing's changed. The inquisitive types are still on the margins, as it were. You're still not allowed to view white people as anything other than Satan.
Yeah.
Men are still responsible for all the world's problems, and the American culture is exactly the same. We just have this small window of opportunity with the Wild West internet to make it something different. That's it.
Yeah, God bless the internet for that. I mean,
I know, right?
It's some shit, dude. Fuck. Imagine, I'm just thinking of like what Alex Jones's cabinet would be. Like, who would be his vice president? Would it be Owen Schroyer, maybe?
I think he'd probably end up running InfoWars.
Oh, Owen would just take over InfoWars?
Owen would probably just take over. I think if Alex Jones did that, he'd probably just spend all of his time declassifying everything.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Which honestly, like that's probably a reason to vote. That's probably a reason to vote for him. Well, he's a conspiracy theorist, so he'll probably just declassify every government document that's ever existed.
Right.
This is fair. It's good. You know, there'll be some good bants.
Yeah.
Declassify the redacted stuff from MK Ultra. That'd be pretty handy. You know,
Yeah, that'll be such a trip if that happens.
he'll finally have to admit that 9/11 wasn't an inside job, which I don't know. We'll lose out on some, I guess, funny moments from Alex Jones. But if Alex Jones runs on 9/11 was an inside job, vote for me and I'll prove it by declassifying all the documents. I'd vote for that. Yeah, right. You know, I do that.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it can't be worse than pedo Hitler. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Biden is just so boring. It's I don't understand.
Was he ever interesting?
Yeah, that's
a weird thing. When Trump was in office, there was always something about the president to think about. It was interesting.
Yeah.
And I just remember as soon as Biden took over, I woke up one day and I was like, huh, it feels like we kind of don't have a president. It feels like we just don't have politics anymore. It was weird. I was like, this is bland and almost non-existent.
Yeah, it feels it feels like we just have like a Twitter account being president now. You know what I mean? You know.
When I can't remember, but there was something about the Jan 6 investigation, and they did something incredibly corrupt or whatever. Like, to be fair, it was the entire time, but this was just this particular instance. And I remember even CNN was running Trump's response to it and not Biden.
Mm-hmm.
It just sort of seems like everyone's waiting for Caesar to cross the Rubicon, but he's just not doing it.
Uh-huh.
He has all his troops, and they're all there, and they're just standing there, and they're just standing there for years.
Yeah.
You know, and the Senate Guard are just coming out of the forest, taking away some of the soldiers every couple months. You know, this is what it feels like.
Damn, we were kind of running out of time, and I guess just real quickly, we also have to just give a shout out to the My Son Hunter film. The trailer looks pretty awesome. Again, just going into the culture. This is politically based, I guess, but I do have to handle.
If it's a parody movie, but it like everything that happens in the parody film is
true.
Just what authentically happened.
Yeah,
that sounds like a great movie.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden's life is literally drugs, guns, and whores. Oh, and oil. Guns, drugs, whores, and oil. Like that. That is his life.
Yeah,
it's been his life for like 20 years. You know.
Yeah, there's an interesting story there.
I remember him and like two hookers or whatever were playing hide the hard drive or something stupid, you know, and like where he was another video where he's like arguing with a crack whore about how much precisely how much cocaine he has.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know, it's not 2.7 grams; it's 2.69 grams. 69 dudes. You know, it's just.
Yes, and his taste in hookers is kind of weird. Like
if you're pay for a woman, get a beautiful woman.
Yeah, he liked like skinny, tattooed Russian chicks, and that seems like a waste of hooker to me. You know what I mean?
It's a waste of money.
But if you had like hooker money to spend, get something top notch, not a fucking some Russian tweaker. You know what I mean?
It's better to have one beautiful woman than 5 ugly chicks. Like it's you know, everyone knows this except Hunter Biden. You know,
or maybe that just comes from like being in a world where you kind of get whatever you want. So what you crave is something kind of dirty like that. You know what I mean?
Or it's just the same as media, quantity and not quality.
Maybe.
Mr. Filth, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm so glad. You know?
Oh yeah, so just shout out to the My Son Hunter movie. I'm glad it's an actual film, not a documentary, because stop making documentaries. Those are just getting repetitive and boring. Makes actual
you can
stories.
Achieve the same novelty with an article.
Yeah.
You don't grab new viewership with documentaries.
Yeah.
Surprise people with morals of documentaries.
Well, I mean, if it's a documentary on everything, you might be able to bring anyone.
Maybe.
But that's not possible. So, you know, it'd have to be 50 hours long or something stupid.
Yeah. Like, you guys seen the movie Goodfellas?
No.
No? It's like one of the best movies ever. It's like a mafia movie, but I'm just picturing in my head, like, if they modeled, like, Goodfellas as, like, the Hunter Biden movie, like, same kind of formula, because it's about someone who just sort of grows up in the crime world, but if they just apply that to Hunter Biden kind of shit, that'd be really, really awesome, really entertaining. But anyways, we should kind of start winding it down. All right, I guess if you guys want to do some shout outs, Grace, if you want to just shout out, plug
mine's
your
gonna
stuff.
take like 2 whole minutes, so go right ahead. I got a lot.
Yeah, I'm Grace. You can follow me on Instagram, Little Artist in the Woods. And if you're a conservative or preferably Christian artist looking to just find other conservative artists, use hashtag Pain is Red too when you share your work. That would be super cool and helpful.
Very cool. Trevor, you have the floor.
Oh. Hello, everyone. My name is Trevor Brown. I'm the editor-in-chief of Acropolis News Network. You can go to theacropolisnews.com/products and become a premium member over on theacropolisnews.com. By becoming a premium member, you can get access to all of our premium content, including the American Gracchus podcast, which has now been renamed to premium podcasts and interviews because I'm boring. And you can also, if you want to make some money by selling the one membership that's available, because I couldn't be bothered to code different tiers because I'm lazy, you can go to acropolis.goafpro.com, become an affiliate marketer, and sell the premium membership and get a 10% commission on each sale. You can also have a nice day. You could also be safe out there. You can also, I don't know, read a book, eat an apple,
Right.
lift weights. I don't know. That'd probably be a good thing too. About as good as becoming a member at theacropolisnews.com. And yeah.
All right, cool. And I'm Senor Filth. I'm finally have stuff to start vending now, so within a month, hopefully, I'll be able to start vending, sell my products in person, beyond just online. If you're curious to check out my Big Cartel store, I'll put a link on the bottom in the description. Yeah, if you like the show, give it a share, give it a share, subscribe, all that good shit. If you'd like to join on the conversation, you can comment below. And yeah, that's the show. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys again next week.
Physical media is forever. Buy Laserdisc.
All right, bye. See you guys.